channel. I'm gonna give a little minute here to let people log in. And meanwhile, I'm gonna make sure I have my notes ready because I don't wanna miss a thing that I wanna share with you all for this live today. I am beyond excited. This is season 3 live. I can't believe we're this far in this channel. And just to be honest, this place is to have fun with traveling, with having the courage to go out there solo as a female and sleep in a camper van in the middle out of nowhere. So if you're looking for travel inspiration, if you're looking for tips for traveling solo, if you're curious about the camper van life, just like I am, because a lot of people think I own my camper, but if you watched the whole channel, you understand I ran these campers around the US and I travel and I live that van life experience without the commitment of having my van, which I'm definitely questioning that right now. We're gonna talk more about that. And also having a job full time that I need to be here where I am. I'm located in Orlando, Florida, and I'm originally from Brazil. That's where the accent comes from. So welcome to the channel. You're in the right place if you're looking for some life and travel inspiration. In this live today, we're gonna unpack a lot. We are gonna go through some shocking truths I learned in this last season. So this is all about reviewing what happened this last season, season 3, adventuring in Texas, and what happens next. What's gonna happen next to this channel? Do you guys think there's a season 4? Have you seen any teasers around there? We're gonna unpack all of that, but most of all, I wanna warn you of 2 companies that are out there scamming people with camper van rentals. I've been a victim of both, so no matter how much research you do, how famous these companies are, I'm gonna just open up to you all here what happened, what did I do, and how I got my full money back from the last scam. Indie campers, you're not gonna get anyone. And if you are scammed by indie campers and you're in this channel, wait for it, because I'm gonna teach you what to do for your scam to recover your money. So let's dive right in. First of all, grab your glass of whatever you wanna drink with us tonight. Relax in your sofa at your home. Thank you for having me in your home tonight. And let's cheer. Let's cheer to living life to its best, to the courage of getting out there and doing different things and exploring, because it's a lot easier to just not do things because you're scared. As I preach, do it scared. You find the courage along the way. So let me take a sip for season 3. Let's sip together. Yeah, my drink of choice is a Moscato if you're curious. So let's dive right in. Let's start with, I rent this camper van for season 3 with a very famous company called Outdoorsy. And the beginning of the rental was I'm gonna explain the differences, right? Because it was posted on the platform of Outdoorsy, but it was rented by the owner of the camper van. It's a private owner of this van that leaves the van with a company in Texas. This company in Texas is the one that takes care of, physically takes care of the vehicle. But the Outdoorsy is just a platform for all these people to put these rentals, to spread the word around. But Outdoorsy will trick you into, not only trick you, they will force you to pay an insurance with them. And you will think that you are paying for an insurance, as described in the initial part that you read. You will think that you are paying for an insurance coverage, so may something happen, you're not damaging your insurance with your own vehicle back at home, right? And here's where I caution you. That is not what they're doing. That is the most scamming part they do with all the renters and travelers. Because you think you have to buy this insurance, you need to be safe and secure and protected. So there are 3 levels. You cannot just opt out. Now know that by law, you are not forced to pay their insurance. I'm gonna get to what happened to me. But If you choose the highest, the middle level, or the cheapest one, that's the money they are pocketing. All the money is what you're getting on top of all the other fees they will charge you. Now, I have the worst experience with Outdoorsy because at the end of the travel, we discover, yes, this was the first time we damaged a vehicle in this channel. And it was nothing major. We didn't have an accident or nothing like that. But when we returned the camper van, we realized there were scratches on the top front of the vehicle. And the person I was dealing with Outdoorsy contacted me and let me know, and we exchanged pictures, and we were like, okay, how do we move forward? I was like, I paid for insurance, so we're good to go. So we contact the insurance that not only made me pay a high amount for it when I paid for the rental with Outdoorsy, but also they were gonna charge me another, I think, $1,500 to act, like to use the insurance. And when you go through the process, in the fine lines that they do not send you, okay, they do not send you this like pages and pages and pages of documentation that in letter ZZZ number 132/BDA they tell you that this insurance is secondary to your personal insurance. You have to activate your personal car insurance, create a claim, pay for your insurance, whatever is your deductible, make them pay for the fix, okay? That's gonna go against your records. So now you're gonna have an incident in your car insurance. And they only use the Outdoorsy if, like, for some reason that goes over or something like that. It is a complete scam. And as I went through this process, I was so mad. But anyways, long story short, because I'm not gonna spend this entire life talking about them. I luckily, through my employer, I have a plan for lawyers. So I contacted a lawyer and I consulted and I sent the contract, and this way I became very educated, and that's what I'm sharing with you, all these learnings about you're not obligated to pay that, that's not covered. Through that lawyer, he guided me through the process on what to do with Outdoorsy. Outdoorsy was not communicating well, was not responding to emails. I would ask them questions and question about what I paid, and they would not only not respond, but then send an email saying, we're closing this case because there has been no communication. I'm like, what do you mean no communication? Here's a copy of an email I sent and you didn't respond. So it was a lot of back and forth, a lot of unnecessary stress, and I don't want you to go through that. So cross off Outdoorsy from your list. I personally never again will rent through Outdoorsy company. Lucky, very lucky. Again, remember I mentioned the vehicle was with another rental company in Texas, and that rental company, the owner had it listed on Outdoorsy, so they were managing the rental. This company is what, and here, let me get my notes, let me get this straight, because I definitely want to make sure I recommend them to you. This is basically the only company I recommend for you to rent your vehicle from. DFW Rentals in Texas. So if you are trying to do this same travel, replicate this travel, especially this winter, y'all. This travel in the winter, we did it in January this year. Amazing. Watch the season, take notes. It was a beautiful loop we did coming from Fort Worth around and back. So take notes and definitely go to DWF Rentals. Raul, thank you so much again for all your communication, because it was the extra care that Raul took that we were able to maneuver through what was going on with Outdoorsy and get with my insurance and what my lawyer was advising me to do. Raul was holding when I said, please hold, my lawyer is investigating on that. He was waiting and communicating with the owner. So Raul did an absolutely perfect communication and mediation with what was happening. I think you truly know about a company when you have problems like this. So I want to share with you my story. And if you are wanting to try a camper van travel, I'm going to leave Raul's company, DFW Outdoors Rentals. I'm going to leave the link on this live. So go and check. You haven't, if you message them and you say you have an adventure, that's hundreds in the plural. Sip of my drink here. Enough about Outdoorsy. Let's move on to some other lessons learned in this trip. So I think number 2 shocking experience for me is this is the first time ever I brought a friend into this channel. And we were so excited, planning everything. Yes, let's do the trip. Okay, I trust how you plan trips. Let's go to this place. Let's do this. Let's do that. And we're both very busy. And at the end, after this whole story I just shared with you all with Outdoorsy, I cannot recommend enough, if you are traveling with a friend, on things that will hit you legally if they go wrong. For example, an accident. The names of the drivers on the policy. How are you gonna deal if there is costs involved with fixing a vehicle, with damage, with anything like that? Make sure you agree to all of that stuff that can be involved legally if something goes south, because trying to agree on that after things go wrong might make the wrong things just even more traumatizing for you and can damage the relationship. And if you don't agree on things, whoever signed that contract, you're gonna have to pay, you're gonna have to deal, you're gonna have to figure out, because that's your legal name that is involved in it. So tip number 2 from tonight is, yes, go travel with a friend, but talk the not so fun stuff before you start that fun stuff travel, okay? All right, what else have I learned through this trip? Let me take a peek through my notes here. Oh my goodness, yes. So the list of animals we could encounter in this park was long, right? I shared with you all, it was bears, mountain lions, tarantulas, scorpions, rattlesnakes. And one of the things we were sure we wanted to do was have bear spray with us for our hikes. But not being too experienced in hiking in territories where you can possibly encounter bears, we went to, we were both flying. So number 1, you cannot fly with that in an airplane. Especially I was just bringing carry-on luggages. I was not dispatching anything. You cannot bring bear spray. You cannot bring pocket knives. You cannot bring pepper spray. You cannot bring a taser. So any of these tools that you might use for self-protection, especially if you're a female, especially if you're a solo female, right? We know the tools that are available to us and that we travel with. What I did is, my first day on this tour, I arrived there and I purchased the items I needed in Amazon. I delivered there and I picked it up. So then I have it with me, but we didn't have bear spray. So we're gonna buy when we're there. This is not something you're gonna find on your Walmart. This is a specific item you need to go to a hiking store to be able to purchase. So we end up not having that with us. We had some other means of protection, but that was a lesson learned. If you are, it was not that high of a chance in the hike we were gonna do. But again, if you are doing a hike in any place that you can encounter any of these animals, and I've been doing, especially after what I'm gonna disclaim and share for you all at the end of this live, what's happening next, I also learned a lot in the what happens next. So I'm gonna share all of that with you. Make sure you go to a hiking store, get your bear spray, and you're gonna find so many more hiking items for you to take with you, especially the snacks are really good in the hiking store to pack with you. Another good lesson was time zone changing. The whole trip was in Texas, but in one slight day, We crossed the border over to New Mexico to go to Carlsbad. If you watch the episode, we know we missed part of our plans because when you cross the border to New Mexico, even though it was just a few miles there, we lost an hour. We gained an hour in time zone change, but we didn't realize. So when we were in the park and doing our activity, we're looking at the clock and we're like, okay, at this time we need to be at the car to drive to the next stop. And we got to the car all on time, driving to the next stop, and out of the blue we lost an hour. And I was like, wait a minute, did we lose an hour just crossing the border, even though we were like in the same direction, you know, in the globe? Yes, we did. So when we got to the observatory, the McDonald observatory, we had lost an hour. So we changed a little bit of the plans. And again, that is why I love so much this travels in a camper van, because changing plans and being spontaneous is perfection. You have everything right there with you. You can change your clothes, you can go get a shower, you can put swimsuits if you're in somewhere you find something to go swim, you can go cook, you can, in our case, we were driving by this amazing like farm area with a gorgeous sunset, and we knew we wouldn't have time to go and visit a part of the observatory before the star party that night. So we just pulled over. We did a charcuterie board because we had everything on the fridge. We got some wine and we had this awesome sunset charcuterie board wine moment when the javelinas came over. They kind of look like Pumbaa from Timon and Pumbaa from Lion King. And we had a full like dancing moment with them. It was just so cool. And you leave these spontaneous moments because you have everything there available for you. So if I haven't convinced you to try a camper van travel yet, I don't know why. What else we learned in the season? Time zones, Texas and Mexico borderline. So if you are planning to cross the borderline from Texas to Mexico when you do Big Bend, that was such a fun thing to do. You gotta make sure you're checking the time for the border, because if it closes, you're gonna be spending your night in Mexico, my friend. But the most important part is, did y'all watch that episode? Because if not, go back. That's episode number 7. And we pay, they make you pay round trip for the mule ride you take, which again, you have to, because that's the very traditional way to get crossing the border to Mexico, right? Riding on a mule. And we got the mule, we're going to Mexico, we have our lunch, we have our good time to come back. Where's the mule? We parked the mule, we tied them, and the owner was like, oh, I think they offered to some other people, I have no mules. And we had already paid for them. So if you do that border crossing, riding on the mules, do not pay them both ways. Even though they say, no, you have to pay round trip, you say, either I pay one way or I'm going to be walking. Do not pay them for both ways. Again, stories. Another big lesson this season was the heater of the camper van. Oh my goodness. Everything. This is the first trip we did on winter time, right? All other seasons, Hawaii and Florida Keys. Even Florida Keys, even though it was winter time, it was hot. Of course, it's Florida. But I never had to turn on the heater for the water because it kind of heats up with the heat of the outside. So when you go take a shower, you don't want a hot shower and it's like lukewarm. But this time we were in very cold temperatures. So the water was like freezing cold. And to heat the water, we turn the heat the water function. But for that to work, you also have to turn on the propane switch, because if the propane is not on, there's no way the system will hit the water. And if you watch that episode, you might have had a laugh with us, because you have to wait 45 minutes for the water to heat, and we waited, we realized it was cold, and then we realized the propane switch was off, and we had to wait another 45 minutes for the water to heat, to take showers, and this was all past midnight. So Yes, lessons for you renting. Also, I'm gonna leave for you in the description of this video my PDF that shares everything you must know if you're new to van life, if you are renting a camper van, if you're renting an RV. There's some basic knowledge like this that you should have to make your trip more successful. And I have a full PDF with all these lesson learns, images of these equipments you encounter in most of the vehicles. So with the code adventure10, no, I think I did 20. I'm gonna leave the code and the link so you can grab your PDF with a discount for your trip as well. All right, 2 more lessons I'm gonna share with you. If you are going to do a sand park, do not go in the middle of a sandstorm. Did you watch episode 9? I cannot believe the struggles we went through. But again, it was fun because this is what I like about this channel, right? You have these plans, you have these adventures, you have these goals, these places you want to visit and see. And adversity is gonna come to you, right? Things are gonna change, the weather's not gonna be perfect, or the timing, you're gonna lose a time. Something always happens. It's how you turn it around. That's basically life. How you turn things around in your life when they're going wrong, when they're not going how you expected, when things are make you feel overwhelmed and sad. It's all about how you take it and how you spin it, right? So at that moment we were just having fun, and we spun like, let's try to slide in the sand dunes in the middle of a sandstorm. Look at the weather when you're planning to go to that park, and if there is a sandstorm, do not go. Do not do that activity under it. And here, the last advice I'll share. Let's talk about that rodeo. I find it funny because some people came and comment on my video like tree hugger, whatever. And to be honest, y'all, I respect lives, I respect animals, I respect nature, and I think if we all did, we will have such a better world to live at. And thanks to all the ones who do respect that, you know, I don't know, I can go on and on talking about that. But since I lost my dog, Bailey, I don't know, I've just been very sensitive about watching mistreating animals. And for me, watching what they do to the cow, to the animals in a rodeo, it was not fun. It just made me feel like that knot on my throat. And it just made me angry about the disrespect to the animal. Like, come on, they were like catching the neck, pull like all its legs and like tossing it on the ground and tying in. The animal's trying to get up and they're milking the cow in the middle and all of that. I was like, what the heck is going on here? So I'm curious to know, what did you think of the episode? Have you seen a rodeo before? Did you feel the same way? I'm really curious. So if you are an animal lover, if you have recently lost a pet, I do not recommend you try to go to a first rodeo at that moment. You might want to go later to see what the experience is. For me, that was a first and a last. I'm never doing that again. I don't need to invest. I don't need to give money for people treating animals that way. This is my opinion. This is my feelings. I respect yours. So just sharing that if you are like me and if you are in one of those moments, maybe a rodeo is not a must on your list. You can completely leave that out. Now let's go through some Q&A. I got a list of questions that I pulled from Instagram. I put a little box there for you all to send me questions. I put in a community here too. So anywhere you all can reach me. By the way, on Instagram, you can find us at Let's Adventure, the same way it's spelled here in the channel, .ofc for official, OFC. And you can follow more there. You can talk to me. And let me answer. I always offer this opportunity to answer your questions during this live. And here are some of the questions that came to me. By the way, thank you, Pamela from Pame Viajando, and thank you, Maya from Americana. You are all my biggest fans. You post most of the questions over there. So I made sure I had all the questions that some of the questions you all asked me in the mix of the others here. But I wanted to give a shout out to you too. Mwah, love you. The first question was, what's the best and worst part of van travel? And I think I already touched on that just now, right? Is the best is the spontaneity you can have with it. I'm a very planner traveler. I researched everything. I go by the hour. Like, we have this much time to drive, and then this place is open from this hour to this hour, and we need this much time to see it. Anyways, but I'm flexible when things come up. And the beauty of traveling with the van is that you have everything right there with you. And let's see, the worst part, I would say the worst part is when you're traveling solo and you're boondocking, meaning you're not spending the night in a proper campsite. So I normally do my research about areas and reviews of people that boondock there before. I have some solo female traveler forums that I follow, and we exchange some information too. But still, it's always nerve-wracking to just park the van and sleep in a completely unknown area, not knowing if you're gonna get the cop knocking at the door that happened on season 2 in Florida Keys, for those who watched. So yeah, for me, that's the best and the worst part. But sometimes, most of the times you find, like, especially what I praise through the season harvest hosts. Hey, harvest hosts, if you wanna, sponsor me or do a partnership, because I already do it for real. Like, I really enjoy all the campsites I stayed with harvest hosts. I'm gonna leave my code here too, because when you're a member and you recommend someone else, you get some perks in the platform. So it's not that I'm sponsored. This is my true opinion. This is my link from being a member in the platform. You pay an annual fee, and then you can use as many sites as you want, and they're all over the US. So if you are traveling in a camper van, in an RV, if you're renting to travel like that, if you're camping with tents, whatever it is, take a look at Harvest Hosts. I'm gonna leave the link in the description of this live for y'all as well. Question number 2. What's the scariest part of solo travel? So I did mention the sleeping solo, right? But I wouldn't say that's the scariest part. I think, where my ladies out there doing this alone, doing this solo, I think the scariest part is when you are a female and you're traveling solo. There's a lot that we have to watch out for, right? In this world of protection, of security. But I think if you educate yourself, then you're ready to face that scary thing, right? I always preach, face your fears, face what you're scared of, but just don't go blind. Just don't blind your eyes and jump off of a cliff. Learn, how are you clipping me? What is the security of this clip? What are the reviews of this place? Has this been rated? All of that. Anyways, so make sure you know the tools that are available for you to have easily to use in case you need. There are some very simple tools, tasers, pepper spray, that you can have with you. I preach that you practice using those. Have you tested your pepper spray? Have you tested how your taser works? How long does it take for you to unlock the safety features and use it? Always carry on the same place on your body, so it becomes a second nature. It's not like you need to think of where to find the tool when you need it, because if you need it, it's going to be a split second that you have to react, right? Just like an animal encounter. The bear spray needs to be always in the same spot. You have to have tested and used it before. Know how you spray, the direction you spray. So do your research, ladies, and everyone else, because we all need to be safe. Do your research, have your safety tools with you, know how to use them. And when you're home for fun, look for a self-defense class and include that in your routine. Because again, you never know when you're gonna need stuff. Sometimes it's not even when you're traveling. So tips for you, my ladies. Be knowledgeable. All right, question number 3. Before question number 3, let me know in the comments of this live if you are female watching and following the channel here. I would love to connect more with you all and teach about these things I've been learning. I've been learning a lot about safety and websites and people to follow. So if this is a topic you like hearing about, let me know. I will love and record something like this for you, okay? Question number 3 is, what is my favorite national park and why? What a hard question. So here in my office, I have a national park board. Also has all the states of the US. So I'm tracking both. It's not up to date because I still haven't updated what comes next. So I wouldn't give it away. But in this map, I scratched the states of the US I've been. And then the US national parks are all in here. And there's 63 of them. I'm learning so much because I'm getting obsessed with them. And I haven't been to many, not at all. But I am really passionate about for what I've seen and what I've been learning. It's just such a connection, y'all. I'm such an adventures person, and I am very well traveled to other continents, to other countries, multiple other states and places, have been exposed to different cultures, different languages. And I'll tell you, what a beautiful thing it is, the national parks in the United States. It is, I am baffled. I am mind blown on what I have experienced. And the first one I experienced was in Hawaii. So I was like, how am I ever going to beat that? It was the Hawaii National Volcanoes, I think it's the name. And I just did, like, if you go back to season 1, I will always hold that season dear and close and tight to my heart, because that hike I did through the inside of a crater of a volcano, inside the Volcano National Park, and I was by myself. It was on my birthday, and it was just something so alive, so to feel the courage, to feel alive, to feel the sweat. Because you go around the top of the crater, then you zigzag climbing down, then you have to learn. That was when I first learned about acorns that you follow on a trail. Acorns are not acorns, sorry, Karens, I think you call them. Correct me here if I'm wrong. I'm confusing things. You put a pile of rocks, kind of making a little pyramid, and you need to, when you get to one of those marks, you need to find another one, because you don't know where the trail is. There's no trail in the middle of the floor lava of a volcano, right? The dry lava. So you need to come to one, look 360, find the next one, go to the next one, look and find the next one, and that's how you find your path. And that hike was one of the most memorable moments I lived and experienced. So Hawaii National Volcanoes hold a really special spot in my heart. And from that, I thought, okay, all other parks is just beautiful nature, right? Like all the same thing. And then I start doing these travels through the national parks in the US. Starting on this season with Big Band, what I'm about to review, and I am simply mind blown. And I have other, let me go to the next question. Next question is, first, thank you. You're amazing. Where is the next season? Yes, that will go together with these other parks I want to mention. Hold that thought. Would you do a season abroad, and where would that be? Yes. This season that I just recorded was supposed to be a season I was going to do abroad with my cousin Rafaela. Rafa, we'll still make that someday. But there is this European Hawaii, they call. It is a Portuguese island that is off of the coast of like North Africa. It's a Portuguese island called Madeira. And if you look this up, this place is absolutely stunning. and they have camper vans all over, like smaller ones. So me and my cousin were looking at it, and we were trying to meet in the island and do the travel. But just all the expenses of the international flight costs and things like that, it didn't work out. But it's not off the plate. So maybe next year. I also have another cousin, Fabiana. Oi, Fabi. Shout out to all my cousins here. She is living in Spain, and we're also talking about maybe doing a camper van travel in Spain. So, yes, you will see this channel traveling internationally. So, let me know, where internationally do you want to see this travel going? Because I'll definitely rent a camper van there, let you know how to do it, how to find the camper van. If you are a camper van company, hey, let's work together. Let me test your camper van. Get in touch with me. Let me be the voice of truly testing your services and recommending to my community to rent and do those travels. Let's get to the last question so I can get to what's happening next. How do you choose what rental business to rent from? So unfortunately, in the beginning, right, learning these things out, I was going by the most popular ones. So Outdoorsy being a very popular one, I thought I was doing the right thing. I did read mixed reviews before I rent with them. And I was like, maybe, it's one-off. These people had a bad experience. And no, it's the reputation of the company is really bad. Do not rent from Outdoorsy. And now I'm also going to get to what's going on next. Because, yes, there is a season 4. Yes, there is a camper van rental and travel. But I'm going to get you never, ever rent from indie campers. You see their name all over. They are all over the US. They are in Europe as well. This company is located in Europe. Also, if you have an issue, if you get into an accident, if something in the van breaks, there's no one here to talk to on the phone, not even the physical building you went and grabbed the van from. You cannot communicate to anyone there. You will not be given any phone number to call. You have to download an app that texts internationally for you to text with someone in Portugal, where the company is located, and wait for that person to answer. By the way, they have no urgency about your broken camper van, about the whole day you're missing or days you are missing on your trip. There are several reports of other people like that there, but this company is another scam. If you go on their Facebook page, Indie Campers, and look at their posts, you'll see that most posts have the comments hidden because all of us that were scammed by them are going there and letting people know. So they delete and hide all the comments. You will see there's a lot of angry faces reactions. It's from all of us that have been scammed by this company. Season 4, I rented a camper van and I really lived the true van life experience with everything breaking on my trip. The toilet broke. The whole pipe under the sink was popped open, water everywhere. I had to lose an entire day of my trip. I had to source and find a plumber in another state I've never been to. Thank you to the host of my Harvest hosts that she helped me out to find a plumber, get him there, fix the van. Guess what? I contacted Indie Campers through the WhatsApp number, and they guaranteed me, you have to pay out of pocket, we will refund you. That trip was months ago, and I keep fighting and fighting over. I haven't seen a dime of that refund. I lost an entire day of my travel. I had to pay for the plumber out of my pocket. They did not reimburse me the plumber of my rental that I had. And that was just one of the two, right? Because I already told you about broken toilet. There was a broken vent in the ceiling. The battery was flickering. Yo, this season will bring you real van life travel and a vacation experience. I mean, If you're not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because not only the stories and the chaos is fun to watch, but the beauty. Because are you ready? I'm gonna share with you where we're going next on season 4. I'm gonna test you on US national parks first. Let's go. So, season 4 will take you to the mighty 5 national parks. They're known like that because they are kind of like the top 5, the mighty 5 national parks for you to visit in this one state. One state, 5 national parks. Are you getting there with me? We are headed to Utah to visit Arches, Canyonlands, Capitol Reef, Bryce, and Zion National Park. 5 national parks. Are you ready for the challenge? In 5 days, driving over 500 miles with a broken camper van. So, yes, next season is all the entertainment you need. I need a sip just remembering about that. So please make sure you subscribe, because I cannot wait to take you to those most beautiful and inspiring places. And something new I want to do this season with you all is I am here. My mission in this channel is to, number 1, women out there, let's live. Do not wait for you find a man to join you to do something, for you to convince a friend that this trip is so good to go with you so you can go do it. For your mom, for your sibling, for your cousin. Wait for nobody. Men too, but I like to empower my fellow women, because there's also, the misconcept of security, and, life in the world as a man and a woman are very different. So my purpose here in this channel is to empower you, my friend women. Let's meet. Let's create a community here. Let's share information with each other. Let's share tips, locations. I want to inspire you all, women, men, whatever you choose to represent yourself in this life here in this world. Let's explore this world. Let's get to know other cultures, other places, adventure. Let's get out of our shell. Let's feel nervous. Let's feel tense. Let's feel the adrenaline running. I want to inspire you all to get out there and live your best life, because this is my philosophy. So in this season, I'm going to share a lot more with you. Every time we do live, you see this little wall here with all my post-its. This is a motivational speech that I've been working on, and that I really hope, right now I just have so much going on. I do full-time school, full-time job, full-time YouTube, and there's no time left, y'all. And as soon as I get something off of my plate, I want to get this motivational speech off and out too. I'll let you all know. But what I want to do with this season 4 is, these places were so inspiring. And I prayed to cross paths with other inspiring people that I could learn their stories and share with you. And it all happened. In a lot of the places I went, I ended up meeting people with very deep and inspirational stories. So if you need some motivation, if you need some inspiration, this is what I want to pour more into the season for you. More of these inner thoughts, more of these feelings, more of these reflections, so you can use when life gets hard. You can use when things get cloudy, when you lose the courage to move forward, when you give up on yourself. I hope that you watch one of my videos and that picks you back up. That sends you back up in your right direction. This is not all just about travel. Yes, travel is the entertainment. Beauty are the locations we're seeing, but also I want that inspiration to be there for you. And something I'm really, really excited about this season is the new equipment that we got. I'm gonna show you all. Super excited. I invested on this. Have you heard about it? It is a 360 camera. So there's a camera over here and here that grabs everything 360 degree. And this season, I took this in all my hikes. I took this on top of the camper van when we were traveling through all those beautiful places. So, what I want to do is every Sunday this season, we're going to continue to have the adventure vlogs where I'm sharing all the stories with you. But there will be a secondary day that we're going to drop this point of view videos that you can go and watch on a computer or on a cell phone. On a TV, I don't think you can because you need something to be able to control the image, like a mouse pad or a screen touch, because you are going to be able to watch the video and put the view wherever you want. So if you're planning hikes on these parks, on the Mighty 5, see the details of these trails and where you're gonna travel and drive with your camper van, here is your resource to plan those travels, because you can control where you look at the video and have fun with it, or have fun with that kind of technology. So I'm curious to see how is this gonna work. I have no clue. I just want to put that out for you. I still need to learn how to pull that file from the camera. So stay tuned, because now we're gonna have twice a week our vlog every Sunday, and on another day this point of view videos will be dropping for you to gain control over the camera and to see everywhere, every direction of these places. A last thing I'm very excited is, as you can see, we now are we have a uniform. I got all my gear with the Let's Adventure. We have stickers, we have all this cool stuff. And I want to thank so much Jasmine. You are such a blessing. She has a company that makes stickers. She will customize for you shirts, pants, whatever piece of clothing you send. She also makes tumblers. She engraves. She does epoxy. True artist to bring your business, your girl's trip name with the date, your event, your wedding, whatever that is. I'm gonna leave her handle for Instagram noted over here. Let me find out because I wrote it down too. Hold on a second here. Where did I put that? Yeah, I'm gonna leave it on the description over here because it was not an easy one to remember. So make sure you check all these promos that I left for you today. Subscribe, come with us, come along with me next season for this whole adventure. There's so many things that we need to figure out how these challenges are gonna work, from the camper van vehicle to, it was peak of summer. It was so peak of summer in the beginning, middle of August, that the national parks have a reservation system, and the reservation system was out because no one goes in the window of time that is over 100 degrees to do multiple hikes, because 5 parks in 5 days. I was doing 1 to 3 hikes in each park. Now, mind you, here's another challenge. You are in high altitude. I actually wrote it down. Zion, which is the lowest, is in between 3,666 feet and 8,726. Capitol Reef is in between 3,880 feet on the lowest portion to 8,960 on the highest portion. Then comes Canyonlands, 3,900 feet at its lowest to 7,180 feet at its highest. Arches comes next, 4,085 feet on the lowest point to 5,653 feet on the highest point. And then Bryce, the highest in altitude park, 6,620 feet at its lowest point, up to 9,115 feet. And a reminder, I live in Flat, Florida. We are 0 feet above the ocean. So breathing in those parks to accomplish the hikes, up to 3 hikes a day, every day, 5 parks in 5 days. You all need to come to see what happens in the season, because There's a lot of lessons to be learned on that one. Live for that season will be like 3 hours. If you're not familiar with the Sparks, some of the things they're very famous for, arches. If you ever seen a license plate from Utah, the delicate arch, the U shape, is the main hike, the main point of view. Actually, let me show you some pictures to y'all. Y'all want to see? Let me share a little bit of what you're going to see through my phone. So this was a very beautiful moment. I lived in Arches. I cannot wait to share about this. This was my first hike of this entire season. Guys, I almost died. Oh my goodness. This is another place in the Arches. I have a very good tip. This is a secret spot no one knows exists. And I have a secret and safe way for you to go there. And if you solo, you can do this 100% with peace of mind. So stay tuned on the season because I'm going to share all those tips. This is another of my favorite in the Arches Park. This arch is going to disappear. It's breaking off. And eventually with the time, this is the longest arch in the world. In the world or in the US, sorry. Don't quote me. And it's about to disappear. So you better, plan this trip. Let's see what else. I saved my favorites here for you. This I used for the live today. And this one is in Canyonlands. It was the Mesa Arch. And y'all, we're going to watch an amazing sunrise over here together. And the life in the camper van rental or camper van if you own one. I keep dreaming about building mine one day. Most of the most beautiful places for you to go see and experience. This was another one of my favorites. This is Bryce Canyon. And if you can see the little stick behind me is the 360 camera that literally hikes with me like if you were another person following behind. So the views of the season are going to be super, super cool. This is another of my very favorite moments in this hike. Zion has this very famous hike called the Narrows. I'm going to give you all the tips for you to safely do this hike. This is a very, very tricky place to go. And this is definitely my favorite picture of this entire season. It's literally that last moment, that last park in Zion. I conquered all of this 5 parks, 5 days. So let's go on the season together. I cannot wait to see you all next Sunday. Next Sunday, we're going to have a full trailer of the season, and then we're going to start diving into these 5 parks in 5 days. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel. Please let me know in the comments what you want to see. What are you thinking? How can we do this together? Let's communicate. Let's talk more. I'll see you next Sunday. Thank you for being here with me, everyone. Cheers. Bye. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Unfortunately, yes. Bye, everyone. Let's adventure.